I think I'm muted. Yep. Okay. Now I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm not muted. Welcome to the Dev Talk Show on May 23rd. It's Friday.
You're not.
And
You're
good. And here in the U.S., a lot of people will have a little bit longer of a weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So, how's it going, Rich?
Good. It's Friday. Looking forward to not having it rain all weekend, which would be fun. It'll still be cool, but it's at least supposed to be a dry one. Which after I think 3 days or so of rain, we've kind of had enough.
Yeah, it's kind of soggy. I think one day was kind of. I've mostly been indoors, so, but no, I definitely gotten rained on a little bit. So, welcome everybody. We have a little bit shorter of a show, I think, on tap because it's already quarter past here. So what we're going to try to do is start with our project. Last time we integrated a .NET Aspire test project, and I think that's something that I still like and want to kind of examine, and I'm kind of okay with our project I'm okay with this project maybe having multiple ways to do the same thing if they demonstrate something valuable. You know, in production or in your apps, you might not choose to do that. You might choose to stick to one method. But what I kind of want to do is see if I can get. I'm actually not 100% sure the state of the code base right now. So,
I don't know if you. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're starting from.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to do a clean here in a second. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to start from. And I think what I'll do is we'll say git switch to post show. I know we had some other code, 250521. That's the tag that we created. Branches expected. Okay, fine. That's not a big deal. So I think maybe part of the issue is that switch expects a branch. Okay, so now I've switched here. And I think I'll go ahead and just create a branch here just for now so that it doesn't complain about detached head state. Okay. So I should still be at that same spot. And if there's a command that I like for the log that's more than this, but okay. So we are at that tag and my temporary branch just so that it doesn't complain about being detached head state. That's the only reason I did that. And then what is it again? It's git clean. Yeah, this is it.
There you go.
Okay. So where does this leave us? This leaves us with an API app. Yeah, we have a test app that is using the .NET Aspire integration testing. A test project. We have that. And it happens to be using NUnit. And I think what we'll do is, first thing we want to consider is that before starting on a set of unit tests that use another method, the web application factory, we were going to move towards the repository pattern in our API.
Yeah, that was the kind of the goal for getting those tests started, basically. But yes.
Yeah, I don't remember this. I don't remember this orbital data.cs. Is that in there?
Does it say who the one author is? It looks like it's me.
Oh yeah. Okay.
35 days ago. So now we don't. I don't think that is. I think that was too. That might have been a spike to try and get being able to communicate with the Cosmos
Okay.
emulator. So yeah, that can go.
All right. No big deal. Well, we don't have to do anything right now with it. So let's kind of catch up to where we are. We have a unit. This is our program CS for the API, and today it uses the Azure Cosmos integration. The Azure Cosmos DB integration for Aspire to create a Cosmos client. That's what it does right now. And then it just uses that client. Just flat out uses it. And I think what we want to do is we would prefer to have this Cosmos DB work kind of stripped out into a data project that project knows how to deal with your data stores. It could be Azure Cosmos DB. We could even do some interesting things in the future. Not that I'm saying every team should do it. Is we could say, hey, let's have a version of this that also works against Azure Table Storage. Let's have a version of this that works against SQL,
Postgres, what have you,
or just runs in memory, like whatever. Like you said, there could be all these implementations. So what we'll do is we will create a new project here, and we'll play around with XUnit a little bit here. So instead of a .NET Aspire test project, which does a different thing, this sets you up for integration testing by running your app the way Aspire does, spinning up containers, firing up those containers, and using the orchestration that you've defined in AppHost. This is more of the traditional class library approach that's kind of disconnected, and it doesn't really care. Let's see. So we want to call it test, and maybe it's the API tests.
Okay.
And .NET 9 is fine. So this is just really a class library when you think about it, except that what you get, it's not much different from creating a class library, except what makes it a test project, a couple things, is they've gone ahead and installed the XUnit resources for you. They're including a reference to the .NET Test SDK, and I'm not sure. I actually don't know for sure what lights up the lab looking symbol versus versus just any old class library that might have like a C# symbol instead. I don't know what in here lights it up, because it used to be that I could tell you, but because these are both Project SDK, Microsoft.NET SDK, so I don't know, but I guess that's not super important. It might be interesting to figure that out, at least as far as I'm concerned. I wonder if it's living in the solution. I don't know for sure, because it would be interesting for me to create just a class library and see if that little symbol lights up. I don't know. Not that important. So we've got our API test, but that's going to be something we're going to get to later. I think. I don't know that I'm able to test drive this. That might be interesting, but I don't know that I don't know that we might fumble around a lot more. So instead, let's create a class library. And this one is orbital.data. That's interesting that it's complaining about orbital.data not being empty, and I think I know why. I'll show everybody why. Even though I did that clean, I've poked around doing something similar already. And so what clean doesn't do, the command that we used, is it doesn't remove directories, right? So you see how these are empty? They're just empty. It removed all the files, but let me just come in and let's blow away this because it's not needed. And it looks like Visual Studio. Let's see. What if I do back
and next
and then go next again? Yeah. Then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It says, yeah, I can do that. All right.
Just need to reset.
So now,
that's all.
Yeah, that's all it needed. So we have a data project, because where I want to go with this is I want there to be a Cosmos meeting repository. At least that's what I'm going to call it. Now,
okay.
Oh, I love how it was going to try to implement it for me. I think, though, that if we're going to have this meeting repository, it's going to be derived off an interface. That, no doubt about that. But I'm just trying to think of what the first method might look like. And I think it's, let's see, we know that we want to be able to call it. I love how it just goes for it, right? We know that it's going to return an IEnumerable of meeting, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, not the whole thing, just the meeting. Now it's going to get confused because we do not depend on the core project yet. And this might be called something like get meetings async. So what has this done for us now? Obviously it's going to try to do it. Funny thing about it is I don't know how far off that is actually.
It's pretty close.
There's some things I don't think it needs, though. Like, I don't think we have to do that for each. So now let's resolve a lot of these problems. We don't depend on meeting yet. We don't depend on
the
core, which is where meeting lives.
Correct.
Okay. And we know from previous experience that one way to do that is I can drag this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then if I drag that and then say edit project file, oops, I gotta zoom out here. Edit project file, then yes, the project reference has been added. So awesome.
Nice.
You could just do this yourself. You could just add project reference here, or you could right click on and do it a more traditional way. Now that that's been done, I think the refactoring should help us, and it did. And this is still complaining only because we don't have a method body. That makes sense.
Right.
So it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to get this done for you. Now, what's interesting here is that this particular version is saying I'm going to call the Cosmos client, but we're going to set it up right here. And I think what we'll do, and we can revisit this, but I think we will especially in a short show like this, we will let dependency injection help us. So Cosmos meeting repository, and we'll have it inject the Cosmos client, and we'll get that injected for us. I don't really need that, though. What we'll do instead is we'll say that we're going to hang on to this client.
Okay.
I don't have something to store it in yet. Yeah. And we're going to hang on to, let's see, we have to, when we call it, we get a container out. And I love how it knows by looking at the rest of our project. It's like, this is probably what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need, let's see, this is only going to be touched in the constructor. So yeah, that's exactly what I want, and we're going to have to bring in another package, it looks like, because what we don't have right now is the NuGet package that deals with Azure Cosmos DB. So just for the heck of it, let's go take a look at what we did in the API, which is we included this.
So that's different, right? Because that's the Aspire client. So that's going to be dependent on the Aspire wire up.
It is. And I think maybe we can back away from that. Back away from that. But I don't know. because what I'm trying to think through right now, just that we're sitting here, is how are we going to get this injected?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have the complete answer just sitting here, but I do know that this will work. Oh, that's interesting. Well, whatever. I'm gonna have to leave that alone. What if I try to format it? Look at that. It moved the tabbing out to 4. That'll be fun. So I don't really need this. Don't really need that. But let's see what this has left us with. We still probably need to bring in a using here. Okay, we're happier. We haven't implemented a method yet, but we're in better shape. And as long as we can get a Cosmos client injected, you're right that I wonder if maybe I wonder if you're right and it's more than it's needed. Not that I don't think you're
The
right.
whole client?
Yeah, like maybe because this has dependencies. Aspire's hosting has dependencies.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking through this on the fly, right? So if we use Visual Studio to help us look at what those dependencies are, this might be what I really care about.
Right, which is hey, if we weren't doing anything in Aspire, we just want to connect to that. That's how you would do it.
Yeah.
And it looks like Aspire, well, it looks like it is, if I read that right, it's contained in the aspire.microsoft.azure Cosmos.
It is.
Okay.
But 3.47.2, let's try to remember that. What if I do this and it was called Microsoft.Azure Cosmos, and I knew I would forget already. 3.47.2.
Yeah.
What if we do this and we remove the dependency on this and save it and let Visual Studio is going to do its thing to try and fix the packages, I think. Isn't it doing it? Oh, why is it struggling? Maybe it's not struggling. Let's go back to here, and it's fine, right? It's like, yeah, sure, I'm good. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to return a task.result from result. Yeah, I'm going to do that just because I was hoping. I just wanted to get, what it is I think we need. Do I really need? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to build. I just wanted to build, and it didn't build. There might be more to this. The Newtonsoft JSON package must be explicitly referenced with a version greater than 10.0.2. Okay.
Which project was that?
It's complaining about, well, actually, you ask a good question. Let's go back and look. Orbital.data.
Okay.
So let's go look at our API project and see, did I not notice that we have 13.0.3? Azure Cosmos doesn't bring it in. See that? Azure Cosmos doesn't bring it in. But they're telling us you've got to bring it in yourself, I guess. We'll have to take a look at that at some point, I think. So let's bring in Newtonsoft.json.
So when you look at NuGet, it doesn't list that as dependency for that package.
I agree.
Okay.
But there's something they've triggered in there to blow up and tell you why it blew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to say you've got to explicitly reference this. And you know what? Let me tell you know why I think they might have done it?
Right.
Because they probably know a lot of projects reference Newtonsoft JSON. And so if they explicitly reference it, now you've just created a dependency conflict. And so they're telling you, as long as you take 10.0.2 and above, we're good.
Okay.
But if we took one of these, then now you're going to say, oh, I can't. Oh, no, everything broke because I'm using 12, whatever. And I think I'm willing to bet that that's the reasoning. That's just me being new to the Azure Cosmos client, right? It's this project has been my way of learning how this works.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And I'm doing some of this as well. Okay.
Yeah, so we need a get meetings that actually does the job. I don't know why our executive producer, I think I kind of know why. I think that we're not having the best morning. So we can copy a lot of the code that we've already used. And that's here in our API. I know this is getting messy up here. Close some of these things out, maybe. I don't know that I really have to do this, but now, is this our web API project? It is.
Yeah.
So this is our meetings list. So let's just grab this and work through it. Let's work through. Okay. We don't need to get the container. That's already been done for us.
Yeah.
Okay. We do want to make the call, except that now this is private parameter. Yeah. I know this says public here. Maybe it doesn't have to be. In fact, I don't
Probably
think it
shouldn't be. Yeah. Yeah.
You could tell I wasn't thinking all that much. Yeah, coding live, right? I feel like I suddenly forget a lot of things. Okay, so we get back meetings. I suppose this could blow up on us, but maybe we won't. I don't know that I'm going to worry about that yet. And then we just want to return the meetings.
Yeah.
I know there's another way to do this. I don't know why this is kind of bothering me. Because I think I feel like I have seen something else. Can I get it to help me? Is it something in here that's going to jog my memory? That's what I was thinking of. Yes. I think that does the same thing.
Oh.
I think that does the same thing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Except that it's not going to be results. It's going to be meetings.
Okay.
Adds the elements of the specified collection to the end of the list. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I suppose that's whether you like. I guess it just depends. Now, I don't really know. I don't understand why it result iterator. Is that what we called it? Oh, we did. That must have been what we got, because last time I think we asked Copilot to write that for us. I guess that's okay. I think for now, what we've done is we have developed just a sample method, but we don't want to inject this directly. I mean, we do. We want to inject the implementation. But because we keep talking about having multiple possibilities for implementations, notice what I haven't done here is this doesn't derive from an interface. And I tend to be a little... sometimes when I'm just thinking, it's easier for me to start with the implementation and then say, okay, let's get the interface that we want out of there. Now, is it going to help me with this? I think it will. Generate an interface iMeeting repository in a new file, which I'm willing to do for now, but I want to see what you think about where I want this to land.
Okay.
So it went ahead and generated it, and it's sitting here in our orbital.data, and there's really nothing in here.
So, yeah.
Which we can fix that, though, because I just basically want to add it. So I just want to look. Let me just grab this so that way I don't have to forget what the method looks like.
Right.
And it looks like this. We can take away the public async. And okay. Now, here's the issue. We can see that where it dropped it is in the orbital.data project.
Okay.
But orbital.data I kind of view as this is a place to implement the system's core interfaces and services.
Okay.
And that theoretically there could be multiple of these. There could be an orbital data. This one could implement this one. Maybe this one ships quote unquote in the box. And then somebody else on the team later says, well, I'm going to write a DLL real quick that maps this to SQL, and let's just get it in there, And so I kind of don't like this as its landing place. I kind of like it landing here in Orbital Core. Go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I think the meeting interface, because of those reasons, and I agree with you. I think that's the right way to think about it.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a folder here. I'm going to call it data. And then I'm going to move it and see how much help we get here. Do I want to save uncommitted changes before proceeding? Yeah, sure. Okay. So it copied it. It put it in a namespace called Orbital Data, which I think we really want to be Orbital Core. And we'll have to think about our capitalization because I've gone ahead and made this a capital here.
Yeah.
Well, we can change all that. Okay. So that means I don't
breaks
want
the reference to where you are. Yeah. Interesting.
It looks like it just copied it. Now,
right, but that should go ahead.
This seems to have.
That's on.
Okay, the assembly reference is what I figured would be next. Yeah. Except doesn't it have it already? No, no, I know what the problem is data. Yeah, you just said it. You were saying it. You were trying to tell me.
It's okay. We'll get there. Now why that? Oh, because we.
Oh, so actually we need both. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so now we can say remove and sort usings. All right, so we're good there.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'd like to do is use yesterday, which I discovered is the screwdriver to change the name of this file. And now we have a repository that can go out and get meetings. So let's see. Nothing going on here, nothing going on here. So back here, this can essentially go away, I think. And it should, what would this look like? This would be, we're just going to call, we're not going to need any of this. Do I need an empty meetings list? I don't think so. I don't need to iterate through the results. So var meetings. No, that's not exactly what I'm looking for, but thank you. Oh, I know what part of the problem is I'm not, okay. I can think of a few problems of why. It's not that I couldn't finish writing the code, but you can see Copilot is going nuts trying to help, and it can't possibly help. So, and it can't help because we need to add our new to the builder here. Now I'm going to run into a lot of issues where this project doesn't have references. Oh, wait, it tried. It tried. I was too quick.
Get rid of the semicolon then.
The problem here is I messed this up. That was supposed to be an angle bracket. And get rid of that. And we still need project references. Is this going to do it for me? I don't think it will. Okay, so let's head back to Solution Explorer and we'll take a look at our project dependencies. We don't have data in here. Okay. Orbital Core, but we don't have data. And so I'm pretty sure we need that. And then using orbital core.data. And I'm wondering if this one's just going to be using orbital data. Yeah, okay. Okay. So I don't know why there's an Azure identity there, but I'll just go ahead and remove it. Okay, so now that we can do this, this can be refactored to be iMeeting repository. And it's the repository. And we await the repository get meetings async. Yeah, I think that's it.
Right, because your API is going to get hit asking for the meetings, and you've passed all that logic off to the repository to go ahead and run that method, get meetings async.
Right. Now, I had mentioned earlier that I'm not 100% sure about this longer term, but the only reason this is working is because Cosmos Meeting Repository needs a Cosmos client.
Right.
And this particular Cosmos Meeting Repository is not creating that client. It's taking it by injection.
Mm-hmm.
But this class library doesn't know this by itself. It doesn't know anything about dependency injection, which is the point of dependency injection. So who's the dependency injection builder? Well, it's the API. And we get that in ASP.NET Core kind of for free. I use that term loosely, but when you're walking through your web application builder by declaring services and saying what implementations go with what interfaces, the dependency injection jumps in and says, well, okay, cool. Whenever you ask for an iMeeting repository, I'm going to give you one of these. But it turns out in order to make one of these, you need something. And I can resolve it in this case because of this. Because we did add Azure Cosmos Client. I think an open question will be whether that's how we want it to live. And I'm not 100% sure. So I'm willing to punt on it for now and think about it. I think it'll reveal itself to us if it starts to become a problem.
Yeah. So what we're saying is the API project has to take a dependency on the Cosmo implementation specifically.
Well, it has to take a dependency on. It has to have a host that has dependency injection that will give it a Cosmos client.
Yes.
So we could build a second app that uses dependency injection. And as long as we inject, just as we've done here, and I don't care if it's the same dependency injection framework, it could be totally different. But as long as we inject Cosmos meeting repositories for iMeeting repositories, and that it picks up a configured Cosmos client for the Cosmos meeting repository, that's a long way to say all that, then it should still work. So the dependency is you need some host that knows how to create one of these. It doesn't even have to be dependency injection. The host could just say, well, I'm going to take on the task of creating the Cosmos client and I'm going to pass it off to you.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just thinking it through. I'm not 100% sure. What we haven't done yet is we got 10 minutes. So let's see if the app, I think the app should still work. Now that's not automated testing. That's programmer testing, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree, because it's taking what we know to work, which is the Aspire Cosmos DB reference, and
I'm going to set a
passing that on.
Yeah, I'm going to set a breakpoint here in get meetings async, and I'm even going to be dangerous and put it all the way at the end and just assume everything's going to work. But what this is going to prove is that our repository is being used instead. Right. So if I click on meetings list was called. This got called. Our meetings has a count of 2, which is what I think the current system has 2. And so, okay, so it works. So we don't need any more testing, right? We're good. We know it works. It's great.
Right.
There's our testing. There it is. Now, what we would like to have, and we'll see if we can get this done. Otherwise, it's gonna end up being something we do next time. We have a test API here, and the issue now is, gosh, can I wire this up quickly? Because I don't know how fast I'm going to be using what we're going to see here. I'll try to get this in the show notes a little bit later. Integration tests in ASP.NET Core, which is not the same as the .NET Aspire integration testing. This one talks about using the web application factory to streamline bootstrapping your system with a test server. And so let's see if we can get this done. Now we're in X unit. They've got a unit test. We are going to need, we're going to need
that repository, right?
I think that, yeah, no, I don't think so, actually. So this is how, let's see.
That's probably missing a reference, right?
Yeah, it's going to need a reference to the API, which it does not have yet.
I was thinking about the web application factory.
Oh, yes, that's correct. So this is going to help me. Ah, look at that. It did.
Install the package. Nice.
And I think and I wonder if it's because we're using it somewhere else that it says, hey, why don't you keep using it?
I don't think we are. I'll double check.
Well, I'm pretty sure we are. The app host, I think, is using it. I think if you dig, not the app host, I'm sorry. The other test project, I think if you dig into
Orbital test.
Yeah. Oh, here it is right here. Microsoft ASP.NET Core MVC testing. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So in order to, so this will instantiate, this will bootstrap the web application factory for us. And let's see. That means once we've done that, we can take actually, I take that back. Maybe that isn't going to bootstrap it now that I think about it. Oh, see, now it's trying to do that. Do I need to do all that? Do I need to? Factory's not null. Oh, I know. Wait, no, that's not it. I wonder why it's not. Oh, okay. Actually, that's because this isn't really a fact. I'm trying to. Okay, I get what I'm doing wrong. See, my brain didn't even notice. Yeah, and it's trying to fix it for me. My brain did not notice that I was there in a test method and trying to treat it like a constructor. So that wasn't good. Now, let's write our first test. I wonder if it's going to try. I had a feeling it would try to. So what do you want to do here? You want to say, we want to create a client. Sure. We want to call API meetings. And then we want to assert the test code and assert. Okay. Sure, successful status test code. Fine. But it didn't. That's because we're going to need orbital.core. And this isn't right either. This is read as async. This is that whole net HTTP thing, I think, where read as async is an extension method on HTTP content, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's Microsoft. No, it isn't. It isn't. Is it system.net.http? Is that what it is? No.
is the web SDK.
It doesn't try to fix it for me. I'm just not positive. I don't know for sure.
I'm just looking the test project. Well, it does in the project. It specifies web SDK. Never mind. It's in the project file. So I can't see that. HTTP does not take definition for that.
Well, let's see. I just don't remember right now. Oh. So this is saying that it's system.net.http.json. Is that what I did wrong? I don't remember if that's what I tried.
Okay. I was going down another path, but okay. Doesn't seem to. Because is line 28 supposed to be your act?
Yeah, maybe it wrote a bad unit test and I wasn't paying attention. Oh, well, part of the problem is so what are we really testing here? We're testing. Well, okay, we could do this. We could say when we get the response,
okay,
the test could be, okay, like that's one test. We've been down this road before. Get meanings,
right.
returns. Okay. Okay. That's the simple thing. I'm trying to figure out if I'm really done here, though. I'm not 100% sure. Because what are you complaining about? Fixture argument factory does not have a fixture source. Oh. I've forgotten how to do this. Oh, wait a second. Is that it? Because I was going to say you have to derive off of a class fixture, and I think the web application factory supports it. Is that it? Is that what it is? It's in the documentation.
That does sound familiar from the doc. Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, it's in the documentation here, and I might have just maybe I just got lucky. Which, trust me, the point of this is not to just I forget everything all at once. But I suppose, yeah, so it succeeded. Let's see what Test Explorer thinks. I wouldn't be surprised if our older tests break now.
Mm-hmm. Because we're not really running the Aspire.
Actually, I'm not really right. I don't know. It still didn't. The new test did not work.
Oh, can't find test host.
Yeah, it didn't like any of that. One of these has failed now.
It's probably the one with the ID.
Probably. So I'm rebuilding the whole project. And then let's just run this test right here. And it still failed. Oh, this is going to be something. Can't find C source orbital test system. Was required for a functional test to run properly. This is going to be something that I'm not 100% sure. Let me think. What else is going on here? A little test. Orbital API. I think I might have spelled this. We might want to change that too. I think it maybe should have been like, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But why? I'm not seeing any.
No missing. Right.
I've seen it's picking that up.
Issues. Yeah.
But we're missing something. And I wonder if it's a dependency. The project depends on the API. Huh. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the issue is here.
Yeah, I mean, other than it failing, nothing seems to be problematic. Like there's no errors, there's no warnings.
The funny thing is I've run into this before, and I feel like it was a setup issue, something I didn't complete.
Okay.
But it's one of those errors that keeps you very confused, where you're just going like, I don't know what's, you go, I don't know what's wrong. And let's try building it. Hold on, build completed. It's the test that's failing. Run all tests. And what I want to say is why. Do you think, I wonder if it would know. I wonder if this knows. Document. When I run this test, it fails, saying that is not found. What is missing from the project or implementation that is causing this test to fail, even though the project builds, which of course doesn't mean it's going to work.
It's just the first integration test.
Yeah. Oh, this happens to be, typically means the test runner. Your test project must reference Microsoft.NET test SDK. Oh.
Well, it does, doesn't it? It's in the. Yeah.
Well, let's go look.
Right.
I think you might be right. Or probably right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what was the rest of the answer? Because it said more, didn't it? It said ensure the NuGet packages, remove direct references, confirm is test project is true in your CS proj. Huh.
Is that really a thing?
I don't know. Was it a thing in the other?
That's what I'm going to look at. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Look at your screen. Sorry.
I just added it. So.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens if we run the test again there. Not showing the test explorer though.
Yeah. Orbital.test also had that.
It did have that line?
Yeah.
I think this blew up. Yeah, it's still not happy about it. So we will have to figure this out another time, I think. Yeah, we'll have to figure this out another time. Got very close though. But
we did.
A few minutes past 9. We have the beginning of a repository pattern, which we can use with we can go through and implement the rest of these. And then where I think it can lead us to is some unit testing where we mock the repository in some way and have it start either returning successes or failures that we know, and then we can write more tests. For me, those are tests of the API's response to things. That's not really proving like the CRUD operations. It's saying like, okay, when the iMeaning repository tells you this, how do you respond? Do you return a list of values, or do you blow up spectacularly? We don't want you to do that. Instead, we would like for you to return a responsible error message of some kind. So, all right.
Those are the important things, so that we know we can change things and still have a sense, get some kind of sense of things are breaking or not.
Yeah.
So, cool.
All right. Well, kind of a shorter show and flew through it. Hopefully that helps folks out. There's definitely some show notes I want to get added. I'll try and do that a little bit this weekend. But hey, everybody out there, if you're in the US and you get the Memorial Day weekend, have a great holiday. You too, Rich.
Thank you. Same to you, Chris. No hockey this weekend?
That, no, it is completely dark in terms of youth hockey. I think a lot of people want to have the weekend off. So
that's it.
If that is it, then for Rich, I am Chris, and we will see you all next time on the Dev Talk Show.